What is happening, everybody? This is Cody, aka DFS Prodigy, coming to you live, breaking down this upcoming UFC Austin card. Before we begin, hit like button for me. Definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel. And a ton of y'all know, we're here breaking down this 14 fight slate. We have no more NBA, so we got to fill in some other sports. So let's knock out UFC. So before we begin, hit like button for me. Always subscribe to the YouTube channel. A ton of y'all know I just got off of work, so we're here breaking down this UFC card. Let's start it off with one of the first fights on the card, which is Kyle Daukaus versus Roman Dolidze. So again, sorry if I misinterpret some of these last names. I'm not meaning it in a bad way. I'm just, like I said, some of these last names are kind of hard to pronounce. So again, sorry if I mispronounce that. No offense to anybody out there. So, but Kyle Daukaus, it's a great fight all around. I'm liking this fight. I like the price tag on Kyle Daukaus here at 8-7. That's definitely something I do like. We saw him. Well, I mean, he looked good last fight. He looked very good last fight. Roman, on the other hand, he's looked good also. I mean, Jimmy Pickett was a nice win. We saw him versus Holland. That should have been a win for Kyle Daukaus. But the ladies' man and Roman, I don't trust that at 7-5. The gas tank is what worries me. I think he's definitely at a sub-risk. So I do like Kyle Daukaus here at 8-7 all around. I think he can handle this on the feet. I think he can handle this on the grappling match. So it's kind of where I'm leading. Is Kyle Daukaus here, but let's go to the next fight in Phil Hawes versus Darren Wynn. This fight, we've seen this before. This is supposed to take place last year. 9,000 for Phil Hawes is definitely a high price to pay for. So that's kind of where I'm kind of leaning towards just fading this fight overall. I don't trust this fight. I don't like this fight for either guy. I think, yes, Darren Wynn, I don't see him having a chance at 7-2. I think Phil Hawes crushes him. I'm liking Hawes all the way around to basically handle this fight. He should have a field day, but at 9,000, it's definitely a hefty price tag to pay for. But let's go move on to Eddie Wineland versus Cody Stamann. So if we look at the price tags for them, 9-5 for Cody Stamann, 6-7 for Eddie Wineland. So this is a fun fight. I mean, Wineland, we know he's the major vet in the game. We've seen him before. The older folks should know who is Eddie Wineland. The track record speaks for itself. He's looked good, but it's Cody Stamann. He needs this win. I think Cody Stamann's in a good bounce back spot. I mean, coming off of 3 losses already, 9-5 for Cody Stamann. That's definitely a hefty price to pay for also. Do I trust the 9-5 price tag? Not necessarily, because it's Eddie Wineland. We know Eddie Wineland can pull out a fight any moment in time. It's just the recency bias for me is kind of leaning towards Cody Stamann to get the bounce back here. So I think Stamann can land the knockout. He has the knockout upside, but 9-5 is definitely a hefty price tag to pay for. And then Gloria DePaula versus Maria Oliveira. So Oliveira is now taking on her 3rd UFC fight. So she's 1-1 right now. If we look at her track record, it doesn't look the greatest. I mean, that's the thing, is the defense for Paula, though, that worries me, but it's Gloria DePaula. We know that's always been the downfall of Gloria DePaula. So I'm leaning towards her. I think the grappling's there for Paula. I think she's the better avenue to win this fight. Oliveira, I just don't know what to expect out of her. She's hard to trust, especially on the feet. And the defense is what worries me the ton. I'm just taking the more talented fighter in Gloria DePaula, but at 9-2, it's not really what I'm leaning towards. So let's go on to Danny Chavez versus Ricardo Ramos. So where's this fight on DK? I guess I'm just missing this. Where is the Ramos fight? Okay. Anyways, I guess I'm just missing it. I don't know why. Oh, there we go. I missed there we go. Okay, so Danny Chavez 6-9 for Ricardo Ramos 9-3. The thing about this fight is the confidence that I see in Danny Chavez makes him the live underdog. That's the thing, is the calf kick. I think that's why I can see this being a live betting circumstance more so than a DFS fight. I think Ramos is the better fighter. I think he's the better volume overall. And he has really quick hands. It's just, I'm leaning towards Ricardo Ramos just by a hair. But I don't mind going to Danny Chavez as a value play at 6-9. And then we go down to Court McGee versus Jeremiah Wells. This fight's definitely interesting to me. It's just, what are we going to expect out of Court McGee? We know Court McGee's the older fighter. We know that Wells is good on the feet, and the knockout power is there for him. That's the thing, is the grappling's not bad for Wells also, but Court McGee has a better grappling by far. I like the grappling more so out of Court McGee. I like the price tag at 8-2. I think the edge is there for him. That's why I'm leaning towards Court McGee at 8-2. That's where I'm liking him more so than Jeremiah Wells. But let's go to Natalia Silva versus Jasmine Genovese. So 9-1 for Jasmine, 7-1 for Silva. So I want to be straight with y'all. I'm leaning towards Jasmine. I think that Silva's coming into the UFC as a newcomer. I think she's going to be startled. I do not like that coming out of her. She didn't look bad, but she's coming off a 6-fight win streak, but that was not in the UFC. Jasmine has the more experience in the UFC. That's why I'm kind of liking her. I think she's the better pop in her hands, the better grappling overall. I'm just leaning towards Jasmine. I think she should handle business here at 9-1, but I just don't like that price tag again. So to finish up the preliminary card, we're going to go to Adriannez, the hometown boy in Texas, versus Tony Kelly. So this is a good underrated fight. The boxing's there for Yanez, an eye for. The mental mistakes for Tony Kelly is what worries me a ton. I don't trust the mental mistakes that he brings to the table. And the striking defense is what worries me a ton also. I'd rather go pay for 9-4 for Adriannez than anybody else on the higher end of this card. So let's move on to the main card in Julian Marquez versus Gregory Rodriguez. So okay. 8-5 for Rodriguez, 7-7 for Marquez. What are we going to expect out of Marquez? We know he's a bulldog in the cage. We know he never gives up. I like him as a live underdog. Rodriguez, we know how Gregory is. We don't know what to expect out of him. He's all over the place. I'm not counting out Marquez. I think he's a live underdog at 7-7. It's just, do you trust him at 7-7 to get this fight done in later rounds? That's the biggest question mark out of him. So I do like Julian Marquez at 7-7. I'd rather go to Gregory Rodriguez, yes, but at 8-5, I don't like that price tag for him. That's why I'm kind of just looking at it and saying, no, you know what? I'm just going to fade overall. So let's go to Guram versus Demir. I'm not really going to try to attempt the last name, so I know I'm going to mess it up. So 8-4, 7-8. So I like Guram here. I'm going to be a little bit different. I think he's coming off a huge win versus Gamrot. I think that showed up a lot for him. The kicks are there for Guram. The grappling's looking good for him. Demir, I know he's a heavy underdog here. He's looked good, and he's looked good on the mat. The striking is there for Demir. It's just I'm liking Guram. I think he can sneak out this win. It's just I have the gut feeling that Guram can sneak out this win as a big underdog on this card at 7-8. So that's why I'm liking him at 7-8 a ton. Let's go on to Joaquin Buckley versus Albert Doroth. Do not count out Buckley here at 7-6. I like the price tag a ton. He's one of my best value picks for this card. I like him here. I think Doroth, he's a fast-paced fighter. I think he will push the pace. I think the wrestling's there, but he didn't use the wrestling last fight. He looked out of the ordinary last fight, which that's why I'm liking Joaquin Buckley, who brings the fight no matter what. He has the knockout power. He's ready for this fight. I think Buckley's going to show the striking upside. That's why I'm liking him as underdog at 7-6, plain and simple. So let's move on to Kevin Holland versus Tim Means. This is going to be a great fight. I'm excited for this fight. I think this is a good underrated fight also. I think you can look at Tim Means at 7-3 for sure. Holland, he's the heavy favorite in this fight. He dropped down a weight. We know that, but Means is no pushover in this weight class. Means, he's doing a ton. He's working on the takedown defense. He's worked on the grappling. I mean, he will shoot for the takedowns, which you know that's not what Kevin Holland likes to see. Kevin Holland is not good with striking, or not good with the grappling defense, which is why I'm liking Tim Means as the underdog here at 7-3. If Tim Means can shoot for the takedowns, that's going to be a bad day for Kevin Holland at 8-9. So he's going to have to watch out. And then we're going to go to Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lauzon, the two vets in the game, the two old-timers in the cage. Donald Cerrone, 8-3. He looked awful last fight versus Joe Lauzon, who looked good against Steve Pierce. The two legends of the game. I'm just taking recency bias here. Well, I did not like what I saw for Donald Cerrone last fight. I don't like it at all. I mean, he looked awful versus Marino. I think Joe Lauzon has the better up. I think right now, I think Joe Lauzon is a better fighter. If you looked at the past time, it would be Donald Cerrone. But right now, I don't mind paying the price tag for 7-9 for Joe Lauzon after what I saw out of him versus Steve Pierce. So, then going to the main event, the Boston finisher and Calvin Keator versus Josh Emmett. I think this is not a good fight for Josh Emmett to be ready for. Emmett, he's not a bad wrestler, and the striking's been there, but he hasn't been active. It's been over a year. And Keator, I mean, what bad can you say about Calvin Keator right now? He's on the come up. He's a good prospect in the game. I like what I saw out of him. I like that he has a heavy heart in the ring. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Calvin Keator, which is why he's my bet of the week. This is why I like him as the top pick for the main event. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. Thank you for tuning in. It was a great set wrestler night. Have a good one, everybody.